Have you ever fallen down the YouTube rabbit hole of like those fucking pimple popping videos?
No,
Bro, I can't watch
They're
those.
disgusting.
I cannot
They're so
watch
disgusting.
those. I don't understand. I'm calling out people who enjoy watching
I bet
videos like
Maylene
that.
likes them.
Yeah, I bet Maylin likes them.
Is Maylene here?
No, she's not.
Ah, she's left.
So okay, so no offense for people who love watching videos like that. What the fuck is wrong with you? It's so gross. I don't understand. Like people say, like,
It's
oh,
like a
it's
catharsis.
satisfying, and I'm like, slime videos are satisfying. Just watch those.
No, I do get it because when I pop my own pimple or something,
Yeah,
it is kind of satisfying.
yeah.
Really?
What when you pop your own pimple and you get all that shit out of it?
It just hurts.
No, it doesn't hurt.
It does.
No.
I used to have mad acne on my face when I was in high school, and so like I would sometimes accidentally pop pimples just by like scrunching my face. And
Whoa, what?
yeah,
What?
dude, I had
What?
yeah,
Popping pimples?
I had really bad acne when I
No,
was in
dude,
high
because when you
school.
get a bunch out, you're like, I feel kind of nice to get it all out.
Yeah, but then it just leaves a fucking scar on your face.
Yeah, not for long though.
Oh, sometimes it's permanent.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why you shouldn't pop your
Yeah,
pimple.
I
had it,
actually
but it's
like I
permanent,
actually
man.
have some permanent scars on
Oh,
my face
shit.
because
Yeah.
of it.
I can't tell.
Yeah.
But it's-
I have the beard to hide it.
But it's super fucking hard to not pop it because it's just
Yeah.
so satisfying.
Yeah, dermatologists always say like don't
Yeah,
pop.
but you
your
shouldn't pop
pimples.
your pimple. You
Oh,
should.
you're not supposed to?
No,
You're not supposed to.
Oh.
because it leaves a mark.
Because sometimes you can actually like push it like even like more deeply in.
Yeah.
If you pop it like incorrectly.
And then when that thing eventually pops, whether you like it or not, then it fucking hurts and it can start bleeding.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
that's
it's
the satisfying ones though.
that-
That's how you know you've got everything
okay,
out.
so, but like look,
What is your
granted,
factual basis for that statement, Don?
There's no factual
I made it
basis
the
for
fuck
this.
up.
okay, granted, right? Like, okay, I get it. Like popping your own pimple, satisfying, right? Because it gets rid
There's
of this
other
thing
people
on
who
your
love
face.
popping other people's pimples too. Yeah.
Yeah, but like I don't want to see a random
don't either,
person's
no.
pimple getting popped super fucking up close. And where you can see all the fucking pus and like shit coming out of it. I'm like, that's just gross. I don't want to see that.
Do you think you'd take care of yourself if you weren't a YouTuber? How much less would you take care of yourself if you went on camera?
Well, I can show you a picture of when I was in high school and it's pretty bad.
Yeah. I feel like I would have been the biggest fucking slob on earth. if I
Oh,
wasn't on
100%.
camera.
I would be like 300 pounds. Like, I just wouldn't care.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like I take care of myself the same. I
would
don't
not.
know.
I would not.
I would not.
YouTube, like the only thing that I've done because of YouTube is kind of like when I was like put on makeup. But that was just like I would have probably done that eventually just because I would just have been searching for a way just to stop these fucking comments every time I see someone.
Yeah. I mean, it is frustrating, especially like if same with like if for some reason someone sees like a part of my like balding area.
Yeah.
Every comment is like, oh my god, even though it's something I've spoke about like a million times.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things that unfortunately is just like it is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
And lighting, especially studio lighting, which is very bright, and my skin tone reflects. So it's like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things where it's like, I don't care about this nearly as much as the comments do.
Yeah.
But seeing all those comments is like, dude, can we just talk about the goddamn video?
Yeah.
Why the fuck are we talking
Exactly.
Yeah,
about
no,
it?
exactly. That's the thing.
I get that. I get that.
That's the thing.
And I would never have cared about like finding ways to kind of like, make it better.
Yeah.
Until all these fucking comments were like, hey, you should, why the fuck are you balding? And it's like, bro, what do you mean, why?
Yeah, it's not like I see
Like you have a choice.
Like there's some people who post on like Reddit like, oh my god, Connor's balding.
Yeah.
It's like, what do you mean? Like, yes.
Like, who cares?
I had British genetics. I was fucked from the start.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like I wake up every day. I'm like, oh my god, my
No,
eye bags look so
same,
bad.
same.
Sometimes just like a slight annoyance, and I'm like, can we talk about the thing that I want to
Yeah.
talk about? And it's it was just like an easy way just to like stop the comments.
Yeah.
But like even if like I didn't have YouTube, I don't know. I feel like I've never put too much effort into like self grooming, but I've never been like full blown degenerate closet weed.
I feel like I would be a totally different person if I just didn't somehow end up doing these YouTube videos. Because I didn't really care about taking care of myself in any capacity.
Right.
I was like, I'll just do video games.
I would the only reason I would take care of myself without the YouTube videos is like for my partner.
Yeah.
Right? Like
Yeah.
if my partner is like, oh, you're kind of fucking fat, then I'll be like, all right, well, you know what? Maybe best to start getting in shape.
Yeah, that honestly, that's kind of like the best motivation.
Yeah.
I want to stay looking good.
Yeah.
For my wife,
your
man.
partner, yeah, exactly.
I want to stay looking good, and
Exactly.
Like sometimes I'm like, yo, Sydney, do you want me to get like bigger muscles and like get a six pack? And she's like, no. And I'm like, part of me is just like, but what if I did?
Yeah, but what if I could?
Yo, how much would that make her happy if I did? Even though she says she doesn't want to see it, I'm
Yeah.
like, maybe one day I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna commit to it.
sacrifice all your great food and drink to get a six pack? Because I'm not.
No one is worth it.
But the thing is,
No amount of physical gratification will compare to a great beer and some
That is
goddamn
the thing
good
is,
food with
I
friends.
don't think like the reason I said six packs because I don't think it would take me too much work to get a six pack just because I'm so thin as it is
True,
that
true.
like I've when I went to the gym more regularly before I was like actually like I think quite close to getting a six pack because it was like starting to show just because I didn't have to lose too much weight for like the muscle to start showing. So that's why I'm just like maybe one day.
That's why I was so glad when I also asked this same question to Aki. I was like, would you like it if I was like more toned and like, you know, six pack, maybe not a six pack, but just like more muscly toned? And she's like, no, I like you the way you are. And I was just like, oh, thank God. All right. Woman, hand me my pizza.
Yeah, whatever makes you happy, right?
Yeah. But of course she's gonna say that now. Of course, your partner's gonna be like, "No, honey, I love you just the way you are."
But
Don't
if
change
hypothetically
anything."
she said, I would like to see you in a six pack, I would probably try and do my best to give myself a six pack.
Fair enough.
You know, because it's like, if that's what makes her happy, then that's what will make me happy, right?
I'd be
Yeah.
like, damn, you're in the wrong relationship.
Well, I can call up Johnny Sins for you.
Yeah.
He's got a six
I
pack.
found it very so the most common if you ever try to you take like Rogaine or whatever, any hair medication, like the main one, the one that's like the only one that's like FDA approved, whatever. All the ads that you hear on YouTube and stuff all promote and whatever. I just found it so fucking funny that the one side effect to this drug, so they're like, you can stop losing your hair. You're like, okay. And they're like, there is a side effect there. And you're like, go on. It's like, there is a chance you may be impotent. And you're like, wow, what a cruel trade-off. You can feel and look more attractive and have your hair, but you're rolling the dice as if your dick will work. And you're like, God damn, dude. That's the side. Like, it could have been anything. It could have been like depression, weight gain, any of those things.
It's
And
almost
it's
counterintuitive.
It's like a movie plot. You couldn't design this side effect more perfect for what the cause is.
That's the equivalent of being like, you can have the sexiest six pack to get any woman you want, but you have to get a vasectomy.
But no, wait, no, I don't think that would be as much of a vasectomy. You still have the dick, Joe.
You still have it. All right, we're going to chop your dick off.
Okay, all right, no,
We got to chop your dick off.
But because I remember because I had this conversation with Didas before as well because I told him that I was also taking.
He seemed to believe that it would just no matter what, if you took it, your PP don't work. I told him, I'm like, no.
Yeah, so if you do your research, I believe there is 1% chance.
It's small. It's small.
It's a very, very small chance. I believe it's 1% that you'll just get impotency.
No, it's maybe not impotence, but you feel it's not. I was.
You're less potent.
It's like you're way less. You have like way less desire for sexual activity, and you could your PP might not work as much. In that department.
So what?
If that matters to you.
Yes. So yeah, I told Didas that I take this as well. And the first thing he says to me,
he did the same fucking thing to me.
Yeah, the first thing he says to me is, "Yo, did you win the gacha?" And I was like, what do you mean? What do you mean? And he goes, "The dick gacha. Did you win?" And I was just like,
oh wait, yeah, maybe okay. Because I had the conversation with him where I was like, he was like, yeah, I don't know if I should start taking it, and I was like, well, I wish I did research sooner because like it completely pretty much stopped any kind of progressive balding.
Progressive hair loss.
Like it's like kind of it's just normal now. Like, it's not normal, but like it doesn't get worse, and it got a little bit better. And so I was like, dude, if you're even thinking it might happen, you may as well just fucking, if you're worried about it, just start now before you actually are balding and then you're or your hairline recedes, and you're like, oh well,
because there's no way to regrow hair that's lost
Yeah.
without getting a fucking transplant or something. The only way that you can stop yourself, stop you from losing hair, is prevention. So you need to get there before. I know this sounds like an ad
Yeah,
read.
this is like literally our
This is literally like the Keeps ad read, but that's because it's like I did my research even before getting.
Or you could just
I used to think it was so cringe, all those ads that were promoting it, and I was
Yeah.
like, this is fucking stupid. Now I'm like, god damn, I wish I fucking started sooner.
Used
I'm
it,
so
yeah.
stupid. Because I think you always think, and I was very guilty of this as well. Like,
Yeah.
because you just when you're growing up and you have hair for fucking 20 years, you just always think, oh, this is never gonna happen to me.
yeah.
Yeah.
You always think that, and then like maybe you notice one day. I think.
Yeah.
Do you remember the first time you noticed?
Yes.
I mean, do you feel comfortable sharing?
Yeah. I mean, like, I believe I've told you this in private, but I knew I was going to bolt. Basically, everyone on my dad's side is just bald and has, you know, even if they haven't completely lost hair on the top of it, they've all lost their hair. And it's
Why
something.
didn't we tell them sooner? Why didn't we know sooner?
Yeah. So I remember because, you know, I this was back in like the Sasuke hair phase, right?
My favorite phase.
I like my hair, okay, and not that, you know, I don't think I could pull off like a bold thing. I just don't know if I just don't know if I'm ready for it to be like my identity.
I mean,
you know what I mean.
You've had the benefit
got
of
plenty of
having
time.
tried
Yeah,
before.
yeah,
You got
yeah.
plenty of time to go into that.
And I've actually I have gone through that phase.
You've gone through a trial period
I've
before.
gone through the trial period of that phase. I know I
Yeah.
can pull it off, but you know, I'd like it to be, instead of be like a choice, I'd like it to be a choice rather than a choice that's thrust upon me.
Right.
Yeah.
So I remember when I was like, you know, 17, 18, I was like, Dad, everyone on your side of the family is bald. And I remember like what started this conversation was I remember seeing a picture of my dad when he was like, you know, in his like 20s. And he had a lot of hair. He had hair down to fucking here. He had more hair
That's
than I
always
have.
the case.
Yeah. He's had
Always the
more
case.
hair than I ever did in my life. And I was just like, oh, Dad, you used to have a lot of hair. He's like, yep.
Yeah. Thanks
And
for bringing it up.
And I was like, so like, out of curiosity, when did you start losing it? And he was like, oh, no, I don't remember. I think it was like around like 30 or something.
Damn,
I've never,
could've been
like,
nice.
I've never forgotten this conversation in my life because I remember this conversation is engraved in my mind
Yeah.
because as soon as I heard that, as soon as I hit 25, I was like, start taking pictures. I started taking pictures, and it is literally you going through the five stages of denial. As you are like tracking it, right? Because
you're
like
I must have just parted it weird. It must have just been laid out weird.
My hair doesn't go in this direction.
Yeah.
Everyone has a little dot.
Yeah, of course.
So like I started regularly taking pictures of like my scalp since I was around the age of like 25, 26. And I was like, I've beaten the genetics. 25 years old, beaten the genetics.
I pulled the gotcha.
Yeah. At age 26, my dad's talking shit. I have a full head of hair, baby.
Yeah.
27. Maybe that's a bad angle. Is that a bad angle? That might just be a bad angle. I still look good, baby. Age 28. Nah, I mean like that's like a normal hairline. That's, you know, everyone who gets old has like a little bit of like a little bit of receding recession there. I forgot what it was called.
Widow's
but,
peak?
Huh?
Widow's peak.
Widow's peak. That's just a widow's peak. That's just a widow's peak. Age 29. This is when I've like fully moved to Japan for like, you know, like the first year.
Yeah.
I was like, it could be. Like I'm. You know what? This. I know this looks like a bad picture. But maybe it's just a bad picture, bad lighting, and
Gotta get a new phone.
Yeah. And it was when I hit like the age of like 30. I just had like, there was like one awful picture, and there was like one video where I believe like the back of my head was showing. I think might have been like the drifting special or something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, acceptance time.
Yeah.
I am losing my hair, but it still doesn't look too bad. It doesn't look too bad. So that's when I started doing like a lot of research into this. And ever since I started taking Started taking the pill. It's not gotten any worse. It's gotten like slightly better, nowhere near as good as when I started tracking it when I was like 20, 25 or whatever. But it's not gotten any worse, you know, which is a good thing. Good thing. Yeah.
Yeah. It was very strange. Did I ever tell you the story about how I asked my dad how he lost his hair?
No.
I was like, Dad, how did you? Because he had like a giant bald area, and I was like, how did that happen? He straight up fucking lied. He lied to me. And
I escaped from a house fire.
He said that like while he was working, something dropped on his head, and that ever since then he hasn't been able to grow hair there. And because I was a fucking kid, I just believe him. And so going into my adulthood, I just had that in the back of my mind. I didn't think about it. And then now I realized the motherfucker lied to me. Why would he not just tell his kid that, hey, you bald sometimes. You just lose it.
Yeah, see,
what the fuck?
In my family's case, I wasn't even the one that brought up the question. My parents used to just fucking give me shit about it, being like, motherfucker, you're gonna go bald.
Yeah, and you're like, what the hell?
Because like my granddad started like actually getting like a full patch here at like 26, 25.
Yeah, I mean, bro.
And he was like, sucks to be you, Joey. That's gonna happen to you. And I'm just shitting my pants like all throughout high school.
I feel like that's the right way to go about it.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I
wish I was like talked about to me more. That it could be a thing that could happen. That hey, if you want to do something about it, do something about it now.
Because one thing I've realized, right, especially in this case, the only reason I was super attentive about like my hairline and whether I was going bald or not. Because swear to motherfucking God, every time I'd ask a loved one if I looked any worse, they'd just be like, no, you're not balding. Don't worry about it, honey. Whether it's like fucking Sydney or my mom, full on Asian fucking mom being like, honey, you're not gonna bald. Don't worry about it. It's just in your head. And it was only when I showed her pictures of when I turned 30 that she actually just like,
she was like, yikes.
And I was like, Mom, this is my hairline right now. Yo, you want to go back on your word? Because if I weren't taking pictures, this is where I'd be right now, Mom.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, like if I ever see like a little, like you see a little bit of hair, like someone's head through the hair, you're like, oh, well, it's not you don't think of it as like a bald spot.
Yeah.
You're just like, I could just see their scalp.
Yeah.
But I guess when it gets bigger is when it's, there's a very thin line between when it looks like you're balding and when it's just like I can just see their scalp.
Yeah.
But you keep track and then you notice. I remember one time, oh God, I must have been like 21 and I just was like, just saw something in the mirror because I somehow saw the back of my head and I was like, feels like my hair has been done differently.
Yeah.
It definitely wasn't there when I checked a few months ago. And I was like, no, I can't bald. I'm like 21. That wouldn't happen. Yeah. But yeah, sure enough, it was. And it wasn't getting any worse for a while. And then it suddenly just started getting a lot worse. And I was like, oh shit, I got to do something about this.
Yeah.
Or I got to just shave it all off.
Yeah.
Which I'm happy to do, but I'm like, man, it'd be nice to have it for a few more years.